Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Real Estate Confidant. I'm your host, Mike Razor, here in New York City. Oh my God, this morning has been difficult for me to get up. This is something that I wanted to talk to you all about. Consistency, repetition, the process. As you can tell, I'm still a little rough around the edges. It happens sometimes. And when you get up in the morning and you got to do things, you got to work, you got to this, you got to that, whatever, right? What you going to do? You got to do what you got to do. You know, get up, do what you got to do. But you guys are my motivation. My family is my motivation. Sometimes I get up early, not sometimes, all the time. I get up early and I push myself to the next level, something that you should do also. But it's important that we recognize that if you're trying to build wealth, if you're trying to build your portfolio, if you want to purchase properties, this, that, and the third, then this is a process that you're going to have to go through. I got an uncle that his schedule seems to be crazy. But it's not that it's crazy. He just has multiple businesses that he works on. And his schedule is not the same as everybody else's. While everybody else is out hanging out, working, chilling, he's at his restaurant, or he's picking up stuff from Restaurant Depot, or he's at Lowe's getting stuff for his fix and flips. It's a continuous process. So you just gotta really hone in and understand that you're not a kid anymore, right? You are not a child anymore, and this is serious. You gotta get this while you can. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go back over the 1 to 4 unit properties real fast. I think it's an important asset for you guys to focus on, to start on. A lot of people don't understand how the process works. And I'm gonna put a couple pictures up also, as per usual. I want to do some videos while we're talking, put a little video up, watch, that kind of thing. That way you guys could kind of watch a little bit of some amazing properties. We'll see. Maybe I'll put one up on this video. But 1 to 4 units. The reason why I suggest doing multifamilies first is because, one, you could utilize your FHA opportunity for that first-time home buyers, which, by the way, you can use that multiple times also. But you want to get 2 to 4 unit in a storefront, which may not be in your neighborhood. If it's not in your neighborhood, you have to look around, guys. Go into a different county. Go into a different state, the nearest state from you. The purpose is number one, you want to rent 1 unit, live in the other unit, right? Maybe you want to do it with the FHA. That's one of the rules. You have to live in the property for a certain amount of time before you could rent it out or sell it or whatever. But if you're in a multifamily, then you have the ability to rent 1 unit and live in the other. Now, if it's a 4 unit, you could rent 1 unit and rent 3 units and live in 1. If it's a 4 unit in a storefront, you could rent 3 units, live in 1, and rent the storefront out. If you decide, hey, I hate my job, I don't want to do this anymore, you could start a store. You can put a store there. I always say this. You can put a little store there, newspaper stand. Look in the neighborhood, right? This is what I want you to do. If you live in a city, I don't know about any other city, but if you live in New York, people that live in the inner city in New York, not downtown Manhattan or anything like that, right? But people that live, no, you know what? I can't say that because there's certain parts of Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, that do have corner stores. So I can't say that. But for the most part, if you live in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Harlem, Upper Manhattan, that kind of thing, past 110th Street, you will find a lot of corner stores. They call them bodegas, right? You'll find them there. Those stores, even though most of the stuff in there is junk food, those stores are what people in the neighborhood really, really, really appreciate. Because if we need something quick, we don't have to go down the block to the supermarket. We don't have to go all the way over here to this place and that place. We go to the corner store. It's right on the corner. Go to the corner, get our snacks, get our news. Some of them have newspapers. Get the newspapers, get the coffee, a pickle, whatever you want. They have it. That's why they call it the corner store. The secret is, what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a look at the corner store and see if it has a property above it or next to it, for that matter. And ask yourself, well, if this corner store is here, who owns the building? Who owns the store? Maybe you want to ask the poppies or the whoever's that are in the store, and find out. This will get your mind in the right state, right? From being consumer to producer, from consumer to producer, from consumer to producer. And I'm saying this because when you grow up, when you're born in a neighborhood that has corner stores, that has supermarkets, that has Chinese restaurants, chicken spots, and all these things are surrounding you. Everything for a consumer to want, right? Fast food restaurants, laundromats, all of these things. Most of the time, it doesn't even pass our mind as to find out, well, who owns these places. Once in a while, it might be once in a blue, you'll know, oh, this family owns the corner store. This family owns the laundromat, because you have rapport, right, with the individuals. What you may not know is they also own the building that the corner store is in. 2 to 4 units in a corner store, 2 to 4 units in a Chinese restaurant, 2 to 4 units in just a coffee shop that only sells coffee newspapers. The amazing thing is, because you own the property and you're getting rent from the renters that are in the units, you can take that storefront and just make it, like I said, into something as simple as, I sell coffee and I sell newspapers. That's what you could do. Why? Because the money that you're getting from the units are sustaining your way of living. That's if that's what you want to do, right? So we're talking an average of, I made a goal. So we're talking to average about $2,000 a unit. Well, it could be $1,200. It depends on where you live. But depending on your location, it ranges between $950 and I guess it could go all the way up. It could go all the way up. But I say between $950 and $2,500. If it's a studio, and it's in a rural town or something like that, maybe it's like a tiny home kind of situation, then, $950, taxes are low in the neighborhood, no real issues. But if it's high and it's in like the inner city or something like that, we're talking a little high rent. But see, the other thing that could be done, you could utilize the Section 8 programs. They'll inspect the property, make sure it's livable, and then you bring a family in. Now, granted, once you get into the industry, people are gonna tell you certain things, and maybe even before, they'll tell you that they would rather not work with Section 8 families. The thing is, government gives you incentives to work and help families. I'm all for nonprofit. I'm all for helping people to grow and sustain a living, as long as I know that they are really truly trying to get to that next level, really trying to succeed. Some people, with their circumstances, are not able to do the things that they want to do, and it's unfortunate. So the little leg up helps. But yeah, 2 to 4 units, right, with a storefront. Vision yourself with this stuff, man. You got it. It's yours. You already got it. And so what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do, right? Now, I'm just talking off the top of my head. What I want you to do is create a plan of action. What is it that I'm going to do? How am I going to make this thing happen, right? How am I going to make it happen? I don't know, right? This is what you're going to do. You're going to write down 1 to 4 unit properties in a storefront. You're going to write down your goals. How do I want to live? How much money do I want to make per year? What do I want in my life? Right? Now, I want you to take the time and break it down. Break it down. I want, now this is just your lifestyle, right? So I want, I want a new vehicle. I want a housekeeper. I want a driver, a boat. Things that you want in your life that where you feel that you'll be comfortable enough to sustain a living, basically. Do you need a chef? Simple things. Do you need a nanny? Do you need do you want to travel every so often? What else? Hair, like a barber. What type of home do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a simple home? Do you want to live in a high-rise building? Do you want to live in, a mansion somewhere? And then what I want you to do is, once you get all of that down on paper, I want you to Google all this stuff. Google it and find the accurate numbers, right? How much is it going to cost to live in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in this neighborhood, whatever neighborhood you choose? How much is it going to cost me to purchase one? How much is it going to cost me to rent one if you decide to rent instead of purchase, right? How much is the boat going to cost? How much is the vehicle that I want going to cost? How much does a nanny cost? How much does a driver cost? How much does a chef cost, right? You're going to put all of that stuff together, and then you're going to calculate it. yearly. This is going to tell you how much you have to make per year to live the life of your dreams. Okay? Once you figure that out, the next thing that I want you to do is take another piece of paper, or if you're doing it on a computer, then another note and a notepad. And what I want you to do is I want you to figure out how many units you need to rent, right? Rent out in order for you to sustain that living. So for example, if all of what you've decided you wanted your life to be equates to around $650,000 a year, with pocket change and whatever you want to do, that kind of thing, then you calculate that. So you would divide. You would divide it. So $650,000 a year divided by 52 weeks. Where's my? I don't have my phone. Anyway, I'm not going to do the numbers. Y'all do the numbers. The point is, okay, I need $650,000. How many units is it going to take for me to make $650,000 a year? Right? And then what I want you to do, you start off small. So if, say, for example, one unit is $2,000, you're getting $2,000 a month, right? So you multiply that, right? 2,000 times however many units will equal to $650,000 a year. So if you say maybe it's like 52 or 42 or something to that effect, right? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can get my calculator real quick. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let me actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up here. Not a problem. Not a problem. Let's see. Do the calculations right here. All right. 4 units. 52 times 4 units is 208. 208. We got 52 properties times 4 units per property. It's 208, right? 208 times $2,000 a unit. That's $416,000 a year. So this is how you want to calculate it. Okay, that's $416,000 a year. So if you, no, excuse me, that's actually $416,000 a month. So let's so if that's at 52 units. So if you decide that you want to make $416,000 a month, which is possible, is reasonable. Obviously, give or take taxes, give or take maintenance costs, give or take excise tax, give or take what is it called? Various other things like water, sewer, trash. Is a specific word I'm looking for that I can't remember. But long story short, once you do the calculations, you'll see how much you'll have, or how much you would make per unit if it's at 2,000. So that's $416,000 per month. And we starting at 4 units, two to 4 units in a storefront. I didn't even calculate the storefront. If you decide that you want to rent the storefront out to an office or whoever, and you have the ability to do that, and that could be rented at a higher rate than what you rent your units for. Maybe, never know. The point is you have options, right? Once you get all of that together, you start on the process of purchasing your first unit, guys and girls. You start on that process. How do you do it? Basically, you search for some properties. You have a team in place. First thing, my suggestion is just do walkarounds, right? Do some research. Go to Zillow. Just Google properties, multifamily properties. The simplest way, if you really want to just simply start in real estate overall, like I always say, you could purchase real estate investment trusts that will at least give you part of a portfolio of properties that you own shares in. There's a lot of nuances that go into that I won't get into right now because that's a whole other show. But at least you'll have it in your portfolio. It'll give you a little bit of power. Yeah, I did it. That kind of thing. You could also go and purchase land. So if you go to, in which case, let's be clear, you get the piece of land. It's not an apartment or anything like that. But it's always good to have some land to hold on to just in case. You might want to be a farmer one day. You might want to build real estate on the property one day, as long as the ordinance allows you to do so, right? So ordinances. So so you do that. What else? Yeah, you do your research. You figure out what neighborhoods are good for you, right? Based off of your income. You then go ahead and start looking for properties. You may want to reach out to a realtor. Like I always say, realtors, be ready for realtors because they're going to ask you for an offer letter and all of that other good stuff. My suggestion, reach out to an MLO also. So there's a few MLOs out there that I know that I'm aware of. If you're interested, send me a message, put a little message under this video, and I'll send you that information. What else? Yeah, so you do your walk around. You go to different neighborhoods. If you're really serious about this, building your wealth, you could do it. Go to different neighborhoods. Do research, have the realtor that you're working with send you property. It makes it so much easier when you have somebody working with you, sending you opportunities, right? You look over the list that you receive, and what my suggestion is, as an investor, is to go on biggerpockets.com. Biggerpockets.com has a calculator and has a system in place that allows you to create documents for the properties that you're looking up. It allows you to calculate the maintenance costs. It allows you to calculate the taxes, the insurance, PITI. It allows you to really get the numbers down, right? So that when you go to the banks and if that's what you want to get a loan or something like that, whether it's FHA or commercial, you could present them with the document, the properties, the documents, maybe give them 3, because they're going to ask you if you've already looked at properties or not. Do you know what neighborhood you're looking at? This, that, and the third. So you present them with that information. These are the 3 properties or whatever. It's a multifamily. I like to use FHA. Um, if you have all cash, great. By all means, you'll get a bigger return every month. With the renters. At the same time, a lot of people like to use leverage. So if the money's there, if it's FHA, it's government funded, just know that it's a little bit of a process when you're going through FHA. And some property owners, some agents, they don't really like to work with FHA too much because of the policies that FHA has on purchasing real estate. It could be the smallest thing as a crack in the stair, or a broken glass window, or it could. Trust me, I've been there. Long story short, what you want to do is, once you find the properties that you think you might be interested in, your vision is there, you're like, yeah, this is going to be the first one. Guess what? You got 52. So, and remember, it's $416,000 a month. So, that's a whole portfolio, by the way, that you could, if you want, you could actually sell to an investor if you don't plan on keeping it in the family. But we're talking, 2 to 4 units in a storefront. You found it, you walk through it, you like what you see. Now, in the beginning, it may not be too many great opportunities. The neighborhood might not be such a great neighborhood, but you see the potential. You look around and you see other properties being developed or have been developed, which look a little different from all the other properties. You try and find out, okay, is this one next to it for sale? You might be able to get a deal where you could purchase both of them. And remember, leverage, ladies and gentlemen, leverage is important, right? And then you could begin to negotiate. When you walk through the property, you might see some issues that need to be resolved. You could go ahead and do a negotiation. Say, I know you're selling it for this, but would you mind if we get it for this, or get seller financing for this? And it's various ways to do it. Long story short, the point is you start off, you get your first investment property. Some of them already have renters in it. Some of them won't. If you're going to keep the renters in the property, you want to see all the documentation. You want to see the last payments that were made. You want to see the consistency, the records of them making payments, right? And then also too, you want to, at the closing table, you want to get that first check. You want to get that check. So if they, for example, they are, you're closing at the end of the month, the 28th or something to that effect, right? You want to get the check that that the renter is going to give the initial seller for that month. This way, or all the renters. This way, you'll be coming off on top. Right when you sign the document, now you got, if it's a 4 unit, now you got 4 checks at $2,000, $8,000, and you'll be ready to go, depending on what it is. It might be more, it might be less, whatever. So you have the opportunity to really be successful in this, ladies and gentlemen. And now, also too, what I want you to understand is this: sometimes it's a process, right? Especially if you're not paying cash, and when you're working with the banks. Some banks are sometimey. Some banks will say yes and then months later say no. The one thing I want you to know is, if you're working with the banks will check your credit. And if, for example, your credit is one way when you first sign up, everything's good, and then the next thing you know, you decided to buy a vehicle or something big, and they see it, they may not approve you for the loan in 3 months. So just be mindful of that when you're going through this process. Okay, everything is relative. Long story short, what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is for you to be financially free, right? That's the ultimate goal. And if you could do that, if you follow the steps, you'll be fine. You just have to have patience. You have to have patience. And this process, step-by-step process, will help you get to that next level. I know it. I've seen people who have done it. I've purchased land, and I have purchased and sold with individuals, with teams, and I'm telling you that the opportunity is there, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys have a good day. That's going to be all. That's going to be it for the day. But you guys have a good day. If you have questions, let me know. Send me a message, and I'll be happy to talk to you. All right? Talk to you soon. Later.